Hello there. How you doing? Let's go back over here. This is not going to work right there. How's your day going? How are you? Let's let's talk about this mask thing again. What have they done? What is happening here? What is going on? Who is playing this larger game with the world? What is their goal? What are they trying to accomplish here? Let's see this up here. Hi, how you doing? And when I say there must be a they, because if there's a us and there's a them dialogue, no, we're all part of the same thing. And the Kesh, we're all the same. But except we're not, because there seems to be some people that are playing a larger game, and it seems like it's very malicious, rude. It's foul. Like what's the punchline? What's the joke? What's that? Like how are these? How do these people exist? Do you think do you think they're do you think they think highly of themselves? These people with a lot of money, they hoard money, and then they use it to do some very just weird things. Using this word weird, and I'm alluding to something. It's just I could dance around this idea of why are people like why do people like Bill Gates exist? Why do people like I don't know all of these people with all the money? How do they? I mean, it's like they have all that money. They could solve so many dilemmas in the world. They could help so many things out with the money system as it was. Even if they changed the money system, it's going to go from paper to plastic. I mean, however they do this, I don't know. But they could choose to help people, and instead they do the opposite. I don't have much, but whatever I have, I try to help with what I have. But if you had access to $1 billion, do you know how much good you could do in the world? But instead, they choose to do the most harm with it. They say like money, like what is the they say it doesn't grow on trees, but it's made of paper. They tell you money burns a hole in your pocket. They tell you that money, the ink that's on the paper is poisonous. It literally is poison. Is plastic be any better? What are they doing? Like what? How is it that what is it? The meek shall inherit the earth. How? Who are these ones that have it now? Then, if the meek shall inherit the earth, then who runs it now? Who's controlling the show? Who is it? Everybody likes to go, oh, it's the Freemasons, the Illuminati. Then they say no, it's the Jews, and they say no, it's the Jewish, and then they say no, it's the Jesuits, and then they go no, it's the Black Pope, and the Black Pope doesn't exist anymore. But whose idea of the way like these people that are wearing masks? That's a directive from a a, a magician. suggesting people wear masks. What are people supposed to do? I'm trying to figure out what is anyone's like what is anyone to do in this whole thing that's going on. I look around and I'm like, these stores aren't open. These people that dude, I mean, how crazy would it have been if somebody opened up a business in February, and then because of this whole hogwash that's occurring, they're like, nope, stores can't be open, and everybody's like, no, stay inside, stores can't be open. Where, you know how many businesses are that don't exist? Someone relied on that income. That was their bread and butter. That was to pay for the bills, pay for the for food, pay for a house. Maybe they have a family. Maybe they have children that to take care of. And they're pulling in $100 and something a year. All of a sudden, somebody just said, nope, you can't. Your business can't be open because everyone has to put a mask on. And this happened. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around this thing. I'll see. March, April, May, June, July, August, September. 5, 6, 7. We're working into 7 months of buffoonery. I'm going to say this again for the nobody that's here. How can there be this obscenely crazy, oh, you're gonna get the oogity boogity boogeyman monster of a dis-ease? They call it something else too. If it existed, the whole planet would have already been wiped out. Like, how could it go on for 7 months? And they just go, nope, you cannot open your business. You cannot have a business. How many people are unemployed right now? I mean, how many people have any work to do? The only people that are in business right now seem to be essential employees. What's open? What's an essential employee? Who are these people? Hospitals, when there was supposedly when this thing was occurring, what were they doing? You had all these people in hospitals dancing around in hospitals. Well, people are sitting there suffering, dying in the streets. Yes, that's what they said. That's what's going on. How is it seem? How does it seem reasonable? How does it seem intelligent? I mean, if it's not reasonable and it's not intelligent, then it must be a joke. This is the longest running gag ever. This is a whole, literally gagging people. It all started with what? Why can't people breathe? Well, you got a mask on your face. Remember that? The t-shirt? There was a t-shirt that came out years ago and said the same thing. I can't breathe. That's what it started with. Who? Right? And then right after that, what happens? Who's orchestrating this? It's the I mean, what else to do but laugh? I don't. I mean, what is anybody doing out here? Why? How? What is it? What is the larger purpose? Maybe I just can't see from that high of a vantage point. But I'm quite curious as to what what's going on? Like how did these people exist? It's like they just like I've got money, I'm better than you. You all deserve to suffer. Huh? I thought life was about joy and happiness and dancing and festivities and music and art and this is what the Mayans said. But did they forget the Mayans existed? That time equals art. Time equals art. That's their clock. It's the 1320 clock, where the time that we work on now is called the 1260 clock, where time is money. I don't think so. I don't think time equals money. Why? How can we equate someone's worth? Like, you know, like why do some people make $8 an hour, and why do some people make $500 an hour? Like what can we qualify their value that they bring to the world? Can we qualify what it seems as the people with the most are doing the least with it? So where is their sense of self-worth and value? Like what do they? It's basically just a bunch of digits. Really, all money is at this point is just a bunch of digits on a computer. Money doesn't really, it's never really existed. I wonder how they used to do things before computers. Unless, of course, computers have always existed, and they just didn't tell you about them until the 19 what? When did it? 1970 something? Hmm. What if they always? What if back in the 1800s there were computers, but they just didn't tell you? It was like, don't go down this hallway, don't go into that room. If you go into that room, you'd see the. Remember the end of the yellow brick road? There's just a guy, a little tiny little guy, just standing there. The Wizard of Oz, you know. He was just a freak with a giant microphone. But also back there was a computer. And he was just like tippy tapping away on the computer. But you didn't know about that. I don't know. Just a thought. I'm still wondering why it is, how it is, in fact, that there's this. This whatever the hell. How? Literally. This is like why do the Indians always say how? They're just going, how? How is that? How? I'm literally I'm asking who, what, when, where, why, and how. I don't really care about who, but it would be nice if they just like, here's the thing, how long has this been planned out for? Many years, obviously. And what is their goal? Like, is there an end? Is there an end goal for these people? Are they people? Are they different species? Is their species different than what humans are? Is everyone that you look at a human, or are there androids? Are there people from different dimensions that you wouldn't call human? I mean, what else could they? Are they just parasites? Why? How is it? I still want to side with my earlier idea. I still want to lean in that direction that they're aware of a larger event that occurs around Christmas time this year because of the larger clock mechanism that works, this Saturnian control, the Time Lords. Maybe they know, and so this is all for the benefit of people. I'm trying to comprehend the larger reasoning. I'm trying to go, if I was running the world, if I had any say in it, and I knew that right around probably I think of December, I think of the middle of December, I think the 21st probably. If I knew there was going to be an apocalyptic type event where either, I don't know, maybe maybe the top of our realm opens up, maybe things. Remember the movie It? It just came out. What was the tagline? What was this? The is it you will fly? Is that what it is? You will fly too, something like this. What if they know something about the apocalypse? Well, if I knew that and no one else did, but I was certain of it, I was positive. Would I, and having a higher comprehension of the population's psychology, if I was like, well, if that's if that's going to happen, what would be the best way to save as many people's lives? What would you have to do? Because you couldn't convince people that you knew that was going to happen. You couldn't tell anyone that. They wouldn't believe you. How would you control the population to make sure that this realm continues to exist? What if the whole game was just to keep people in a safe place, uh, you know, come December? What if that was it? What if I knew that? Would you'd have to you couldn't just tell somebody like in December like, hey, the world's about to change. But if I knew that, if I knew there was a plasma apocalyptic event, and I knew what that was, how would I go about that? Would I have to, if I had to control, if there's 7 billion people, I don't think that's the right number. I think there's probably less than that. Like 6 billion people, and I wanted to make sure that as many of them didn't get harmed or hurt or flung off into the outer space or whatever. If I wanted that to happen, what would I do? Would I have to start something in March of this year to convince people to get them underneath a spell, to cast a spell upon people? But I'm doing it. But I'd be doing it. That it would look like what most people look at. Like, this is completely weird. It's crazy. What's up, Jimin? What's up, my guy? So what would, if I'm trying to side with myself, if I was going, hey, this whole thing, maybe it's for a good reason, despite how superficially, like, oh, all of these people's businesses are shut down and nobody's making any money. There's unemployment's through the roof. Everyone's, there's more houseless people. There's just like, maybe it looks like that superficially on the outside, but really what's happening is, well, it's to keep as many people safe from the plasma apocalypse. To because you couldn't just tell someone, and like, you'd have to psychologically, it's a psyop. It's a giant uh, hoodoo pagan ritual. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to talk. I'm trying to figure it out in my head. Like, yo, this is just absolutely fucking bonkers, right? This whole thing. That's like it's like, how do people believe this? But they do. Are people like, are they Are people, have they just been, if I knew that the world was run by a bunch of idiots for a long time and they were dumbing us down, the school system, turning people into cattle or chattel, if I knew all of that, but I wanted to fix that, you couldn't just, you can't, it was Bucky Fuller who said, you can't, um, you don't break an old system, you just put a new one into operation so the old one becomes obsolete. Now, on the larger thing, I've been asking a lot of people this question about sleeping because I have not been able to sleep. The only way I can sleep is really maybe every 3 days, or if I drink alcohol. That's the only way I can go to sleep. And and uh, and I've been asking a lot of people. A lot of people are having a hard time sleeping. Some people go sleepless in Seattle. They go a couple days without sleeping. I've been doing it since it's been just about. Is that the energy in the air? Is that some? Is that like I've never had a problem sleeping ever in my life? So like I'm thinking, is it a culmination of things? Okay, so puppy dies, uh, lose my best friend, um, and all of this weirdness, all of that together, is that doing something to my psychology? But I'll go, okay, let's just put that to the side. That's not why I can't sleep all the time, but sometimes just depressed or anxious or whatever. But is it something that's in the air? Is it something that's like, is it the plasma rays of the sun? The sun is called a what? A soul? The soul? Is it vibrating differently? And is that causing certain people to I've noticed there's either people are becoming more aware or they're becoming um, almost almost irrational and violent and crazy, like we like really like people have gone cuckoo or they've gone the other direction. They go, oh yeah, this is really silly, this is okay, and they become like just like what I'm doing, just going what is going on, like huh. But then there's other people that I'm like, you walking down the street and it's like you can you can see you can see them for what they are. It's like, whoa, that person is that person's actually actually kind of a maniac, kind of crazy. And you start to notice society in a different way and you go, huh, yeah, all of these businesses, all of these things, they say, what are these non-essentials? Yeah, let me see what you say here, Jim. You said maybe it's getting lighter and more control, except that people have to wake up and create more freedom for humanity. I think it increases all the energies. Yeah, yeah, like um my sleeping patterns have been very very disturbed, and like the energy, like I don't know what like sometimes I'm just sitting here like just like this, go, but my mind is going, what is this shit about? That's what my mind says. And I go, okay, well, that's not my thought. I don't know. I'm gonna have to. Then, and other times I'm just like, I have to release my energy somehow. So I go outside, I run around the park. Sometimes, I mean, it's just, that's how I feel. It's just that way. And I'm just looking at society and I'm like wondering, how is it that there are some people that they're not even questioning this. In fact, they're going to the other side. They're going. The fact that you might be able to vote for, okay, you don't live here, but in this country, but I'm sure the political system there is kind of probably weird at this point. Like looking at the American political system, it's always been a joke, but now it's like it's so weird because there are people that are literally considering that that Joe Biden might be a better candidate. Like, really? I mean, I guess. Whatever. I mean, it's just a corporate enterprise, but it does um, leak into society through the media. So the government and the media is like, that's that they hand in hand. It was a really big speech. Was it George Bush? Was basically thanking. He said without the media, without business, without these CNN and Fox and all of these stupid news channels, without your help, we wouldn't have been able to work on this new world order. Why is everybody got orders? Why does everybody want orders? I don't know. Why don't people just I don't know. I think it always reminds me of this story of how to share. Sharing is caring. And these people, they're trying to manipulate, control, and order things. I'm like, that's not friendly. That's not nice. And hmm, I don't know. I'm just at a loss for sleep, and mm, just sipping on some cranberry juice. I'd like to go to sleep, and I lay down, and it just doesn't happen. I don't know. You can't make yourself go to sleep. Remember, like your parents, like go to bed, go to sleep. Like, how do you can't just. It's kind of like you fall into love and you fall to sleep. It's the same thing. You arrive there. You arrive at love, arrive at sleep. It's like, but you just, you're sitting there. I would like to go to sleep, and I would like my brain to shut off. My brain doesn't seem to want to shut off, and it wakes me up. So I'm like sleeping. I'm like, oh damn, how long did I get to sleep for there? Look over, and I was like, oh, I only got to sleep for 45 minutes. And it's this general feeling, I think, and it started right around. Well, I don't know. In the middle of this, it was right near June, July, August. Yeah, 3 months of not really be able to sleep because at first I was like, all right, this thing is probably a gimmick. It's probably fake. It's oh wait, let me just read the words. It said novel. Novel means not true. So it's basically telling you, I already told you that it was a joke. And I was like, this will probably go away pretty quick. They can't keep this going. There's no way. There's no way that everyone around me is that stupid that they're buying into this. But yet, it's like as it's been just it's just pulling it out, making it like here it is. Here's 8 months of this. It's been 7 months, right? And it's become like more absurd. It's like more people are wearing masks. More people are. Mm, I have to ask this question again. What it what is an essential employee? What is an essential worker? What is essential in the world, really? What is? Should we just walk through Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Should we do that? Hmm. Seems like people like a lot of things that are non-essential, and what we're being told, what we're being explained is that the only thing that's important is that a Walmart is open. That's important. Walmart, yeah. Everywhere else, don't we don't really care if you're open or not. Like man, they're really turning the world into an interesting type of Um, I don't know. People like to use these two words. I don't know if it is, but it's either communism or socialism in the worst ways of it. It's really weird because it's underneath. It's still there's still money. Money still exists. Are they gonna? Is it all gonna get changed over to digital? How does that work? What I'm wondering is, if I walk down the street, there's people that used to be playing music all over the streets, and you know what, you'd walk by and you see a homeless person, you'd hand them $1, you'd hand them some change out of your pocket, you'd say thank you, and you'd hand it to them. If this all goes to digital, well, you know, is everybody gonna have a phone? Gonna have to, like, how are you gonna? Hey, can you help me? What do you do? You can't like what do you need? Like, you can't just give someone your, like, how does that work? So now street magicians, street people that play music and do art, they're how are you going to pay them? Not everybody. You're going to have, was everything going to be, hey, just cash app the cash app the homeless. What's the hey, my cash app, I'm a houseless guy or woman or whatever. What do you do? No, that's going to be weird. That's not going to work, especially considering people got masks on, so you cannot see them, so you can't hear them. I'm just trying to take my noodle and wrap it around this thing to just. I mean, you know, what did George Carlin say? If you when you come into the world, you have a ticket to the circus. But if you live in America, you have a front row seat. But now the whole world has turned into. I mean, I don't know what's going on where you are, but I've asked a few people in different places, and they're like, "Yeah, pretty weird, pretty loot, pretty." It's you know, you look outside, you're like, it's too peoply out there. It's gotten funky. What's up, Jimmy? You said you had huge sleep paralysis a few times. Oh, sleep paralysis. I don't mind sleep paralysis, especially because I mean I've taught myself to put myself into sleep paralysis so I can get out body and just dip out of my. I haven't done that in a while, but so sleep paralysis is a weird thing, huh? Yep, Joe Biden is the perfect polarity to Trump, so no matter who wins, it will create chaos. Yep, it's yes. I mean, I mean, the Trump thing is. A lot of people said he would be the last president we ever had. So I'm wondering if the election's going to get pushed back. I'm wondering if it ever even happened, you know? And if it does, do you think it will be, I think it will be like, oh, there's 50%, 50%. And I'm like, really? When I look around, I was like, is there really 50% of people that would vote for that dude? Then Kamala, oh wow, what a joke those two are. But then you got, on the other side, you got people hate Trump because they see little snippets of what he says on the news, little snippets. And you're like, well, that sounds kind of wrong. That sounds awful. But if you listen to everything he said in front and behind of that, like in front of it and like afterwards, it makes a lot more sense, and it's very reasonable what he says. Uh, I don't quite understand it. People are like, oh, he's a racist. And literally, there's a video of Herschel Walker saying that Donald Trump has been his friend for 20 some years. And he's like, he's not a racist. Like, he gives a speech on it. Like, how? How could, what? Man, like, the last president was, here, take a view of this. The last president probably was, I don't know, might have been a woman, that Barack character. I mean, his wife is definitely a dude. Take it just, can you make an honest assessment that the last people that were in the White House was two dudes, or maybe they were just swap. I don't know, but she's definitely a dude, or was. Oh, okay, but who cares? I mean, I really don't care, but it's just, isn't it quite weird, disturbing that could be, that's possible. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen a picture of the mayor of Chicago, or one of that woman that looks like the Beetlejuice thing. Like, how does she exist? I've heard her speak. It's terrible to listen to. She's not a very nice person. How does that make it into an elected official? Who elected these people? I didn't elect any of them. I won't stand for it. I have no. I don't consent. I do not stand for it. But then if I say that, I asked somebody, I was like, I was talking to somebody about voting, and they say, how can you can't, you're not even allowed, they said to me, I'm not allowed to speak about politics, anything, because I don't vote. I was like, my vote is a non-vote. I don't vote. That's my vote. See? And there's probably about 50% of people. How many people? Fire alarm. Amazing. Hopefully that goes off. Hold on a second. That happens occasionally. Just fire alarm goes off. Pretty cool, huh? So where was I? What were we talking about? How did these people get into the position of perceived authority, elected officials? Who voted for them? If more, if if 30%, okay, let's say 60% of people vote. If 30% vote for one person and 30% vote for someone else, that means there is another 40% that don't vote. So why doesn't that win? Here, pick the blue or the red pill. It's the Matrix. The blue or red. Well, no. How about I just don't take either of them? How's that? What would the movie The Matrix have been if, when Keanu Reeves goes up to when he's hands either pick the red pill, pick the blue pill. What if he just didn't pick either? What would happen? What would that movie look like then? Why has it got to be blue and red? Because it's hot and cold. Why couldn't he have been offered a yellow or a green or a, oh, purple? I like purple. That noise of that fire alarm that you just heard a minute ago, it's it did something to my spine too. I went, well, why does it have to sound like that? Here's a question I have for people. And how is it that they have fire drills in schools? Everything in a school is, well, they built it out of bricks and mortar and steel, and in the classrooms, the only thing that could be burnt in a classroom is a book. Everything else is fire retardant. They make it that way on purpose. But then they have fire drills? For what? The school has never caught on fire. It can't. So when I see like, look at, I've built houses. The drywall is made of gypsum. You know what temperature you need to burn gypsum? Like 1,200, 1,300 degrees. Can't light that. You can't light that on fire. What's gonna catch on fire in even a normal house? You could probably I don't know, if it was just everything was wood and wood paneling and stuff, like an older house maybe, but every house now, it's very difficult. And a building that there's like made like the carpet is fire retardant. The I mean, what's gonna catch on fire in a school, in a hospital? You ever seen a hospital bird? There we go again. It makes me like kind of go. I don't know. It's alarming. You know what I mean? So, isn't it funny? I was trying to take a nap, and that happens. Hello. What's up, Eric? Yeah, the green pill. See, Jim and I, we already talked about that. Did you put it up? What's up, mine? Um, yeah, gypsum board is a pain in the ass to demo. Yeah, I've taken down some gypsum. I used to hang drywall when I was like I don't know 16. Man, that's. Have you ever put up 16-foot fire code 16-foot pieces of sheetrock in a garage? They don't the floor isn't even laid yet, so you have these chintzy ladders that you have to stand on top of and put the, oh my goodness, that's and then you got to hold it up with one hand where you get a nail out of your pocket, and oh, I, what a job that is. What a job that is. Now is why do people that hang sheetrock only make, maybe $20 an hour? Maybe. Now, shouldn't they be paid more for doing that? I don't know. What up, Sally? A tornado drill? Not. I grew up in the north. So no, we didn't have those. We had fire drills and yeah. I mean, I guess if the South probably, yeah, Midwest South. Didn't do for over. What's a usual? What's a salary? What do you mean, like $20 an hour? Minimum is, I think minimum wage is different in different states. It's like it's not a livable wage. I think like $12 an hour. I think might be. Some places are like $8 an hour. I mean, how you gonna exist on $12 an hour if you put 40 hours? If you put 40 hours a week in at $12, what is that? $480 a week. Let's round. Let's make it easy. So 4 weeks, that's $2,000. Now you have to take tax off the top. So if you can make $2,000 minus the tax they're gonna take from you, 35%, 40% almost. What are you down to? About 1,200. Who can survive on $1,200? They give us a stimulus check. What, 2 of them? About $6 a day. That's what it's worth. Where can you live for $1,200? So you need to eat, you need to pay electricity, water, whatever. You got to eat. And it wouldn't it be nice to have maybe internet connection? Okay, where's where is that coming from? $12 an hour. You couldn't even really survive on 20. I don't think 20 would be difficult. What's up, Divine? Yeah, JOB, just over broke. Thank you. Yeah, That's why I say I don't ever want to have a job. I have work to do, which is what I'm doing now. This is work. This is you know how long this took me to it took me 41 years of studying and research of everything in the world. And this is what you get in return. Yeah, economic slavery. Yeah, yeah. Job, man. That's just like, imagine having to be someone like. Why is it? Why is the job 8 hours a day? What is? Who came up with that? What? Where does the 40? Where does the 40 hours? Like, why? I don't know. It's such a. How many people have jobs that? So we're talking about non-essential. We're talking about essential and non-essential employees. Like, what really truly is essential? There's a lot of businesses that are still open that really aren't essential to survival. Mm. I've come to, it's all making sense. It's just Walmart. That's the only thing that's important. He feels so underpaid, but 70 hours this week. Phew. I remember when I used to work. I used to work at my airport, and so you get like, well, a time and a half or double time, depending on the days. But I remember people used to like literally clock in at the morning and stay all the way to the night and then take a nap on the couch and not even go home just so they could get 80 or 90 hours a weekend. Yep. Damn, 70 hours. That's I don't know. I wonder how many hours I put in this week on doing this. Hmm. Well, see that's nice. If you have a job where you enjoy it, like I don't know what jobs I've had that I've enjoyed. I think when I worked at a comedy club. I worked at a like a putt like mini golf place. Man, I've worked so many different jobs. Which ones did I like? I didn't mind serving tables. I've had a lot of serving jobs. I don't know. Yeah, so I mean, if you work somewhere where it's enjoyable, like that's why a comedy club that was cool, and I liked serving tables because it was better than bartending. I bartended for a little bit, a couple days. This dude owned a bar down the street from me, and one day he wanted to go to the football game, and he's like, dude, bartend. If anybody comes in, just do whatever you want. I was like, for real? He's like, yeah, I'm about to go. He was just like, do some coke, bang some hookers, and go to a football game. So I was like, all right, cool. He just said, bar is yours. Do whatever you want with it. See, but I wouldn't. But so that was. I think I was there for like maybe four hours. That wasn't that bad because I just got drunk with everybody. I was just on the other side. Eh, I don't think I could. I probably couldn't be a. I wouldn't be a very good bartender because to be you're kind of like you're kind of stuck there in that little space for 8 hours. But at least serving after you gave the table whatever, you'd be like, oh, have a good day, and you don't got to deal with them anymore. Where a bartender, you got to sit there and deal with the people. I can imagine what some bartenders have the best stories, tales of bartenders. Yeah. So what about the Bible world versus the tribal world? How would the world exist if the economy, which they're crashing the economy on purpose. How does that look? Does everybody just get free room and board? Are we just do we go back to a barter system? How is it, like what happens? Like where do all of these people go that don't have jobs anymore? Are they just shutting the banks down? They're just like, well, don't worry about paying. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about rent. Don't worry about don't worry about paying the bills. What do people? I mean, what does that look like for people that need food, want to go grocery shopping? Uh, are people eating? You know what? People are eating more, but they're eating crappier stuff. They're just like, I don't know. Like, did people stock up for the end of the world? Did everybody get their canned goods? Yeah, Divine, you got to do what you got to do until someone else comes up, until you shift enough to make it happen. So, yeah, the UBI, the Universal Basic Income, but only when you take a microchip. Yeah, I mean, everybody. See, the thing is that everybody already has a microchip. I mean, they already have a phone. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like the whole next step process to like people implanting something into themselves. It's a weird thing, man. Like, at what point do you lose? Here's a good question. At what point do you lose your humanity? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how chicks get like a butt lift and a tummy tuck, and they get the fake titties installed, and they get their. I mean, at what point do you have so much of something else in you that isn't human? Do you stop being human? See, I don't have an iPhone. I do not have an iPhone. I used to have an iPhone. I used to years and years ago. And then I don't know. I just got onto the Android kick. Seems to do everything I need it to do. Can you hear the bells? Church bells? Huh. Or is that just happening in my head? Because I've been awake for the 2 days. I'm so thoroughly exhausted. I would really, if I fell asleep on camera, I apologize, but that would be awesome if I could. Because whenever I go lay down, I was saying this earlier, like when I lay down, I can feel my heart beating inside of my head, and it keeps me awake. It's a really weird feeling. Like I'm sitting here, comfortable. I'm so exhausted. What? 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 Life is not supposed to be this exhausting or difficult. It's not supposed to be. But the system that overlays this reality functions on people belittling and shitting on each other. That's what a corporation is. Everybody's like, oh, don't do multi-level marketing. It's you've heard of that, like selling knives or whatever, or vacuum cleaners or whatever. but they don't realize that their business, that they're wherever they're at, like they're at a manager level. It's the same thing. You have the CEO, then you have like two, you have the board, then you have like then you have like this many managers and this many assistant managers, and then you have all of the. It's the same pyramid. It's the same scheme. Hmm. Oh, dude, Devon, you get that? That happens to you? What's up with that? I don't know. I lay down and I can immediately, it just starts throbbing. I can feel my heart in my brain going womp womp womp. Like you ever done whippets? You know, you get the wah wahs, wah 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 wahs. It's not that good. But it's just like it just keeps me awake. I'm like, wow. How many people in here are having difficult time sleeping as well? You know, and it's oh. I'm just. How did it get to this point that the the people that should be assisting humanity, that there's all of those people out there making all of this money doing all, and they do nothing to assist but actually do things that cause pain, anxiety, fear, desperation. This is what they're doing. And they have all the money and they're like, ha 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 ha. When I was in school, you made fun of me. Now I'll make the whole world suffer. Hmm. It's just what it is, y'all. Just what it is. What it do. Who else is up in here? What's going on? What's good? Uh-huh. You guys want to come lay down? What happens? What helps me sleep is pre-bed magnesium, valerian, melatonin, and maybe some ashwagandha. Um, I have magnesium, melatonin, ashwagandha. I think I might. I think I might. I just didn't. I didn't want to have to take melatonin. I just wanted my natural chemical balance. But it's like since this whole, I haven't. You know what? I've actually probably drank less than I used to, but it hasn't. It doesn't. I don't. I never had a problem sleeping up until this year. And I was like, hi, welcome to 2020. It's supposed to be 2020. Perfect vision. Remember, they were all excited. Everybody's like, yeah, 2020 is going to be awesome. And it's been anything but that. I mean, there's some fun times. There's some bright spots in there. But as a totality, what has this year gifted to you? What has the world given to you this year? A bunch of shit. Valerian worked, but I don't have any. Yeah, see, I'd rather just do valerian, right? Because that's an actual, that's a plant. Melatonin and magnesium, not so much. That's why I shy away from using those. But every now and then. You said jitterbugging. That's my favorite book. Jitterbug perfume. Yeah, and he also I call it the Tom Robbins. It's two pieces of white bread, uh, thick slices of heirloom tomato, and mayonnaise, and a little bit of salt and pepper if you like, but salt, little salt on the tomatoes, mayonnaise, and white bread. One of my favorite things. Such a simple thing. Mm. You guys want to come join me on my bed? Maybe I'll fall asleep. Here, come join me. Hello. Here's me trying to go to sleep. Check out, I got this heavy weighted blanket. Ugh. Who's here? You guys want to watch me? You want to watch me take a nap on camera? Hmm. Do you guys sleep on your back, your stomach, your left or right side? I don't know. I sleep all different positions. I'm not so much on my stomach. Either on my back, if I'm really into a meditative state, I'll just lay down on my back. And then I take my hands and put them like this, like an Egyptian. Mm. Mm. If I do start to doze off, I will attempt to turn my camera off. Well, there's nobody really here. It's like a few of you left. Hmm. Well, it was fun, guys. I'm going to try again for the third time to go to sleep and see if it works this time. It's been fun. Maybe I'll get back on here in a little bit if I can't sleep. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay awesome.